Hey guys, welcome back to MMA Library. Today in MMA and UFC news, Dana White announces the UFC will be returning to Canada for UFC 289 in June. Here's the clip.
So everybody's been asking me, when are you coming back to Canada? When are you coming back to Canada? UFC 289, June 10th, Vancouver, Rogers Arena. We'll see you soon, Canada.
As it stands, the main event of UFC 289 will see Amanda Nunes face off against Juliana Pena in their trilogy fight. Dana White also went on to praise the Slap Fight League for how well it's doing in terms of views.
And this thing has been, mind-boggling successful. When you look at, this thing's been around for weeks, right? We have 3.5 million followers on TikTok and Instagram in weeks. The numbers of the YouTube shorts that we do, our YouTube shorts are 250 million. We're the biggest in all of sports in weeks. If you think about the NFL's biggest one is 21 million, right?
Not even close.
We're 250, right? NBA is like 5 million. Formula One is 7.8 million, and the WWE is 64 million.
Wow.
Just to show you how much bigger we are than all of them.
Khamzat Chimaev lights up his sparring partner during a recent training session. Here's the clip. Nickal recently announced he would be returning to the octagon to face off against Trey Gore at UFC 290. During a recent interview, Nickal gave his prediction for the matchup.
What's your fight prediction?
First round finish. It's hard to predict submission or knockout, but there's no way this guy gets out of the first round with me. I feel that's probably a pretty consistent prediction and what's going to happen for most of my career moving forward. So, especially at this point, I don't think that anybody has what it takes to, even make it more than 5 minutes. That being said, if it goes 10 minutes, 15 minutes, a whole fight, all good.
You're still going to win.
Yeah, I'm going to win. And, but I think if I look at it, if I take a step back and, I'm not looking at it from myself as an emotional perspective, it's going to be a first round finish.
Michael Bisping gave his take on the situation surrounding Francis Ngannou. Recently, BKFC president David Feldman said Ngannou wanted unrealistic money. Here's what Bisping had to say about the situation.
And listen, I know for a fact, bare knuckle, they're paying some ludicrous money. They are paying a lot of money to people. Apparently, Luke Rockhold and Mike Pereira, they're getting paid very, very handsomely. I'm not going to say the amount of money because it's not fair. But the president of the organization said, Francis Ngannou, that is someone that we've certainly reached out to. We've reached out to him, we've reached out to his team, and we just feel like he's asking for unrealistic money, and we're not willing to pay that kind of money for him. And listen, I don't blame him. I saw a report, I saw a website, right? It was saying that Francis Ngannou wants $25 million to box either Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, or Tyson Fury. Now listen, they would all be blockbuster fights because of the cachet of Francis Ngannou being the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. But he's not anymore. He's the former, and there's John Jones out there, okay? And the more Jones fights, the more active he is, the more times he defends that belt, the more that diminishes the bargaining power of Francis Ngannou. Apparently Dana said he will never have him back. Now listen, of course, I'm not going to speak for Dana White or the UFC, of course, but who knows? Maybe cooler heads could prevail and maybe they can compromise a little bit and we might see Francis back in the UFC. I truly believe that's his best fit.
Belal Muhammad calls out Dana White during a recent interview. Belal calls Dana a liar after Dana said no one besides Colby was willing to cut weight and be the backup fighter for the Usman vs. Edwards trilogy fight. Here's the clip.
Literally, I was asking for that role. I'm walking around at 185. I was like, I could have made weight on Thursday to go down there and make weight. So when Dana says oh man, he was the only one that was willing to do it, I'm like, don't lie on the situation. If you want him to put him in a title fight for his third time, obviously there's a reason for it, but don't sit there and make up lies oh man, he deserves it, he earned it, he's number 2, blah, blah, blah. He's 2-2 at his last 4 fights. He didn't earn it, he didn't deserve it. I'm the rightful owner of that spot. So if you want to say that we're doing this for Colby because this, and this, just don't make up lies.
Belal then goes on to say who he'd rather fight between Colby Covington and Leon Edwards.
I have a hatred for Colby, right? I just really just want to punch him in his mouth. But Leon, he's still pissing me off because the way that fight ended and the way that he's just acting nonchalantly, I don't deserve it and there's nobody else in the division. I'm like, bro, you were just where I'm at 3 years ago when you're like, I'm on this long streak, man, and nobody wants to fight me, yada, yada, yada. And then they give you a Nate Diaz and you get a title shot off of beating a Nate Diaz. I'm like, I'm beating these undefeated prospects. I'm doing what you were just doing. So give me the respect for my resume. I've been putting the hard work in.
Sean O'Malley gives his take on the potential fight between Paulo Costa and Khamzat Chimaev.
Costa versus Khamzat. Why'd you write shot on there?
You wrote.
Oh. Costa versus Khamzat. That could be very interesting. 185.
I just hope it gets done.
I
man.
know. We just need to see Khamzat fight, dude. I'm excited.
Yeah.
It went from
Real
like this dude fights every weekend to this dude hasn't fought or made weight in 2 years.
I know. Especially with Paulo, that's a sweet matchup.
Paulo's funny on Twitter, dude.
It sounds like he signed a big contract.
Yeah,
You
that's
never
what it
know what
sounds.
the hell Paulo's really.
I think that was
talking
his manager that said he's making $1 million a fight or something.
about. Well, that'd be good for him if it is, but
Yeah.
that'd be pretty crazy.
'Cause
But yeah, seeing Khamzat versus a real contender.
Yeah, a real at 185 for
Yeah.
sure. Costa is a scary dude. But imagine Khamzat goes out there, does what he does, takes him down. That would be scary. I'd be like, damn. Remind me of me.
Yeah, I
Wrestle
think
like me sometimes.
Israel Adesanya reclaimed the middleweight title last night after finishing Alex Pereira in the second round of their main event. Here's what the MMA community had to say following Izzy's victory. Aljamain Sterling tweeted, "Sheesh, statement made to reclaim the crown." Alexander Volkanovski tweeted, "That's how you do it, baby." Ariel Helwani wrote, "Israel Adesanya knocks out Alex Pereira in the second round. Pereira is out cold. Y'all must have forgot. Indeed. Welcome back, Izzy. Wow." Aaron Bronstetter wrote, "Israel got him. He finally got him." Khamzat Chimaev took the opportunity to call out Izzy, saying, "Congratulations, Stylebender. See you soon. Now it's my time. Let's go make it happen, Dana White." What did you guys think about the main event? And will this finally close the book on Izzy versus Pereira? Or will we see a UFC trilogy? Let us know your opinion in the comments down below.
But it just seemed like a weird week all around. That kind of didn't want us talking to him about other fights. Well, I guess what happened with Kevin Holland? What happened to?
Well, the reason I didn't want you guys talking to him about other fights is, guys, we're 2 days before a fight. He's not fighting Jorge Masvidal. Whatever they got into, whatever. First of all, it creates backstage and at the hotels, right? When you guys ask them questions like that and they say something, we still got 2 days until the fight, and these guys run into each other backstage and everywhere else. And it's so disrespectful to their opponent. There's an opponent sitting up there that they're going to fight. And I just hate that. Get it? You want your clicks or whatever it is you guys want to get, your little moment that you can post, but I will attack you if you do that. You know what I mean? It just causes a lot of backstage and at the hotel. And but it's like the time the stuff went down with Diaz and all those guys and Khamzat. These guys have 20, 30 guys backstage, and that just can't happen here, and you guys can't instigate it.
Guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. If you like the content we do here on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to MMA Library for all the latest MMA and UFC news. We'll see you in the next video.